Normally, when we get leaks in Deadlock, it's a small drip. One drop, maybe another. But this week... There's true, false, and some info that falls in between the lines flying everywhere, so let's go through everything that got leaked this week, even more so than just the 10 heroes. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back, as always, to another edition of Deadlock Weekly, the show where I bring you all the latest news, leaks, esports roundups, and more every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you want to keep up with all the latest Deadlock info, make sure to subscribe. So let's just break it down from the top and go from there. On Thursday afternoon, Deathy started a stream with Average Jonas where they gave a tier list on some of the current heroes, and at the very beginning of his stream, Deathy accidentally showed this screen, which is obviously pretty flooring for all of us. I think a lot of us assumed that there was a different branch of the playtest reserved for devs and a small group of others they deemed trustworthy to test new features. We had talked about this in other videos, and in my mind, I thought that they might have a finished Slork or a more finished Raven running around, maybe a new Rejuve mechanic. I saw this screenshot pop up somewhere along the way. But to see 10 new heroes at a minimum on this build was absolutely show-stopping. This is the type of stuff that really gets my heart pounding in excitement about this game. But there's a lot more significance in this screenshot than just the fact that more heroes are in development, because I think we all assumed that there were. This is the biggest story we've had since Deadlock Weekly began, so let's dive all the way in. This roster reveals 10 new heroes as well as multiple new portraits for existing heroes. The new heroes are as follows: Boho, Bookworm, Doorman, Drifter, Frank, I assume short for Frank and Stein, Priest, Punk Goat, Skyrunner, Swan, and Vampire Bat. I absolutely love the New York theme. I think it's such a strong setting that they are doing a great job of leaning into with characters like Doorman and Bookworm, who I assume is going to be a library worker, a librarian at the NYC Public Library. And then on top of that, the following heroes seem to have an updated character model incoming. Dynamo, Ivy, Lady Geist Portrait, Pocket, and Wraith all have updated portraits. And before we go any further, it's worth saying we're on the playtest. Deathy and the rest, they're on the playtest test. We talk all the time about how possible it is for things to change in the version that we have, and it's even more likely that these heroes could be subject to never make it to our version of the test, nonetheless the version that ultimately everybody plays. But this leak is absolutely real. He immediately deleted his VOD and restarted his stream according to multiple sources, as well as missed his stream the following Friday. He doesn't have a hard schedule, but he almost does stream every weekday. Jonas, in the video he made from the stream collabing with Deathy, mentioned Deathy would be uploading a meta report in accordance with his tier list, which was never uploaded, at least at the time of recording. This news has flooded Deadlock channels in every forum, and Deathy is yet to comment. He ignored every comment about the leak in his chat, and it's not like Deathy to not react to something like this, or treat his audience in this way, ignoring so many messages. He's a super entertaining and kind guy on stream, who always acknowledges his viewers in chat, and Deathy is obviously someone that I, and I'm sure you all, have a ton of respect for. He's helped me and damn near everybody who's played this game improve in one way or another, and I genuinely feel bad for the guy. I could sit up here and grandstand about how he needs to be better or make sure something like this could never happen, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't jealous of his ability to test the new heroes, but this is a mistake I 100% can see myself making. You and I know we have made much bigger mistakes in our lives, so I trust you and I will have a bit of sympathy for Deathy this week. But that doesn't make it not a big deal, and it's become such a big deal because this is by far the biggest info leak since Deadlock's tell-all article that revealed its existence to the world in the first place about 9 months ago now. It's also become a big deal because people seem to really feel like they've had their trust betrayed. I think there's been a sense of pride in the community, I certainly have felt it, to be the early playtesters, the ones in on the ground floor, and I think people are irritated that we're not really in on the ground floor and we're getting the already tested versions, not doing the earliest testing ourselves like we may have been led to believe. Deathy's also made multiple suggestions that were quickly added to the game, and this opens the door to the question if Deathy just knew this stuff would be added and framed it as a suggestion, which isn't something I'm sure he would do, but the door is open when you're the one to reveal such information in such a manner. And so to feel like you've had your trust betrayed, I completely understand that feeling, but I also think it's still tough to complain for most people. 7 out of 10 Deadlock games I play now, I completely forget it's a playtest. I even called it a game earlier in the video, not a test. I come home from work, I sit down, I try and enjoy myself. 70% of the time, I am here for fun alone, and I know a lot of people share that mindset. So I think it's realistic for Valve to have done this when the community mindset has shifted so much from the developer goal. Another reason that this is a big deal is because it's provided a lot of secondary leaks. A lot of times when something big like this leaks, it gives a lot of other people confidence to be able to post something themselves, and that's exactly what happened. We saw new images. Even though that Viper didn't have a new portrait, it looks like Viper is going to be getting a new character model, even a little work in progress sticky note on the back of the model. We also got full images of the McGinnis character model. And then from the same source, we've got a couple of other bits of information. Number one, these heroes have been in development for months, which isn't super surprising. They look very finished, at least from their portraits, but who knows what they actually look like. And then the real big bombshell that was hidden on image like 5 of this Reddit post, so I have seen almost nobody mention it, that the open beta is scheduled for July, which is very soon. But given that they have made seemingly so much progress behind the scenes, I would be surprised if we make it to 2026 without an open beta at this point. I think you can put this in the hard maybe category. This came from the same source as the Viper and McGinnis full images, but that's what gives this credence, but who knows ultimately where they got those images from, right? They might have pulled those from a different person, and then these could be fake Discord messages. Again, guys, everything, take it with a grain of salt. Don't get your hopes up for anything, but they also gave us some real info. Remember leak clout chasing? This guy, OK Ruff, was doing a lot of it. His leak isn't true as confirmed by the creator of SteamDB XPod. This is an important reminder, guys, that people will make things up simply for the invisible Reddit karma points or to be the center of attention for 15 minutes. Don't get your hopes up because of a random text post on Reddit unless it's from a reputable source. Try and get some other info before you get excited. And so this whole flurry of information, this whole conversation that we had, ultimately, Deathy is the reason that we're having this conversation. I think Valve kind of has only themselves to blame for the situation in general. They massively underestimated the amount of interest Deadlock would garner when they went quote-unquote public with the playtest and mishandled the matchmaking system in an attempt to support such a boom. At some point after the recalibration on Valve's goals, I imagine this was around the shift from the 2-week patch schedule, they started a smaller playtest, I'm sure with a similar player count to the pre-NDA playtest of a year ago, for trusted community members to help them test further features. And just to be clear, I am not one of those people. And so that then leaves us with what we don't know. Who knows when all this stuff is coming? It certainly looks very finished, and if I had to guess, they would all drop at once since there are so many additions. But again, we don't know. And that's where my personal frustration comes in, is that every time I get movement locked as Calico because I got stunned in the middle of my slash, or every time a minion gets punched into mid in lane by Bebop, or when the Guardian shoots some random thing instead of the person attacking me, it's a playtest. I'm helping make sure this doesn't occur on full release thought is what hits my mind. But the fact that Valve has a handful of chosen favorites who get to do much more meaningful testing is frustrating. It's tough to not ask the question, how much are we really helping? Moving on to our other segments this week, guys, I want to introduce a new one. This week in Deadlock content, I'm not going to include gameplay videos just because there are a gazillion great ones out there, and we could talk for days about them. I really loved commentary, and so I've got a lot of that, but let me know who are your favorite content creators that I need to keep an eye out on for this segment. There was a great Deadlock and Load episode this week with Deathy, a great podcast that I love to listen to at work, similarly with Dead Air. No Dead Air episode this week, though, but yeah, great podcast. Definitely want to tune in to hear some great insights. And then Deathy really got around this week. We talked about the Deathy Average Jonas tier list earlier, but there are some really great takeaways here and another video that you can listen to at work or while you're doing work around the house, whatever you got, really easily. And then everybody and their mother has made a video about the hero leaks this week. Moving on to our Esports Roundup, we actually had no Fight Night tournament this week, which was kind of news to me. I didn't realize that until I went on Wednesday night to load up the stream, and then I went, oh. But we did have the 1-win bombshell, and guys, I didn't even know this tournament existed until I heard about it on Deadlock and Load, so this is where I really lean on you all to let me know if I'm missing something like this. I work 50 hours a week, basically, and I still try to spend time with friends and do YouTube, so I'm sure there's plenty of things that you guys think are notable that I miss, so please let me know in the comments or in the Discord. Links in the description for that. And we got a big kahuna prize pool for this tournament, boys. Virtus Pro took home first place and 50% of their share of the $10,000 $1,000 prize pool. Absolutely dominant performance, only losing one map through the entire tournament. Congrats to those guys. I mean, just pumped. It's been great to see VP back on top the past couple weeks. Moving on to Winrates Weekly, guys, we got Calico's pick rate is plummeting, and I think this is because people who are one-tricking or maining her like myself has just been playing other heroes now that she isn't like earth-shatteringly OP like she was for basically like 3 or 4 months. And in that same club as well as Seven, he's also had a big pick rate collapse, and it looks like the players from Calico and Seven have kind of redistributed themselves to Shiv, Warden, Talon, Shrimp Furnace, the like. And that's all I got for you this time, guys. I want to thank you so very much for watching, and that if you did enjoy the video, to please leave a like and subscribe. It really means a lot for such a small channel like mine. And I want to wish you a happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you all, and this is a encouragement to go watch Andor if you haven't. It's on Disney Plus right now. This show rules. It is just some fantastic Star Wars filled with just action, fun, really strong writing, and I think if you just enjoy, I don't know, the silver screen, the big screen, that art form, you'll enjoy Andor. Are you doing anything to celebrate May the 4th? Are you watching any Star Wars today? Let me know. Everybody, have a fantastic week. I will see you again next weekend. Peace.